You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. Well, actually, at the Little Rock right now, Chris Curry's the head coach of the Little Rock Trojans, the 4 seed in Baton Rouge. They'll be taking on LSU Friday at 2 o'clock at the Box. Guy who knows a little bit about playing LSU and in Baton Rouge. Coach, we appreciate the time. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. So I mentioned you know a little bit about LSU. Played at Mississippi State back in '99. Coached at Arkansas. So played LSU in 09 and 2010. By the way, all 3 of those series LSU won. And I might have looked up that in the '99 Mississippi State LSU series that Chris Curry caught and went 2 for 11 with 3 strikeouts that weekend. Do you hate LSU?
Wow, thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. Do I hate LSU? No, I don't. I have a lot of respect for LSU, and goes all the way back for me playing for Ron Polk in Mississippi State against Coach Burtman and those great teams, and roommates with Blair Barbier in pro ball with the Cubs, and Ryan Theriot and all those good guys there. And then, coming back and being on the Arkansas staff, where we competed against those great teams. And then I was actually, you missed one, I was the pitching coach at Northwestern State.
I have it as well. I was going to get there, but go ahead.
I knew you were. Coming back and, Alex Bregman and those guys. And so, again, utmost respect, am very familiar and know what we're getting into and looking forward to it.
I do have, you don't know this, but so Theriot is one of my best friends in the world, and he actually comes on the show every Friday for 2 hours and has since he retired from baseball. If you have any, I texted him earlier today, if you have any anecdotes about Theriot in the minors, do you have anything at all that comes to mind immediately?
Well, I don't, and he beat you to the punch. We caught up. We caught up this afternoon while I was at practice, and he spoke very highly of you. Took the high road. He did, and we agreed. No stories. I don't know how many are out there anyway, but sorry to disappoint. But no stories on our friend Ryan Theriot.
All good. I got plenty of my own. No worries. Chris Curry is our guest, coach at Little Rock. When you saw your team's name pop up and you're heading to Baton Rouge, what was your just immediate thought?
Well, initially, if you looked at all the projections, of course, the committee was talking about making everything very regional, and every outlet had us going to Fayetteville. And so, in our minds, we were kind of going to Fayetteville, and then it pops up, and wow, Baton Rouge, and immediately you saw our team's reaction. That was genuine, and I think that came from a place of being able to play on one of the biggest stages in college baseball and just an opportunity. We're an interesting story right now because everyone sees the overall record and the improbable 5-0 run in the tournament. But just a little context, we won the regular season last year, and the previous 2 years we've had, most program wins, and we were preseason pick number 2 to win our league. And I liked our club for our league. And then we had an unbelievable run of injuries. And 6 starters out of the lineup, in the everyday lineup, and 3 or 4 bullpen arms. We're still down our closer. He's not going to pitch again this year. And, when those guys are out, Matt, you don't, when you get them back, you don't just plug and play. It takes time to get their timing back, their rhythm. And it was pretty rough there late in the regular season. And the message was just get to the tournament, guys. Get to the tournament, and it's a new season. And that felt like 1,000,000 pounds lifted off our shoulder when we finally made it through the regular season, through everything we went through, got to the tournament, and we were just playing carefree and no pressure. The year before we came into the tournament as the 1 seed, and kind of carried that pressure of and it didn't go good. And then you come in as the 8 seed, and we know what those 1 and 2 seeds are feeling. And those guys just played loose and free and easy and got it done.
How do you win 5 games in 4 days?
Starts on the mound, right? We had a complete game by our Friday guy, who, a very interesting nugget, 2 years ago, Jackson Wells, I believe it was 23, was an All-American and led all of NCAA in ERA, and the number 2 name in ERA was Paul Skeens.
Heard of him.
Now, let's qualify that statement. Jackson Wells and Paul Skeens pitched in 2 different leagues. I understand that, but that's kind of an interesting nugget. Obviously, Paul Skeens is doing what he's doing in MLB, and Jackson at that time was a sophomore, and now he's in his 3rd year with us. He throws a complete game in game 1, and then that set our pitching up because, as you know, in a tournament, you're going to burn through your pitching if you're not careful, and that's what gets you. Well, that set us up, and then we had to play again that night, and we had a bullpen by committee game, and we got hot at the plate as well. Game number 3, the guy that had been the Sunday starter early in the year and battling some shoulder stuff, he comes out, throws the best game he's ever thrown, and goes 7. And then game number 4, we pieced it together, and then game 5, we have another complete game. And all the while, we were hitting, and I think we made 1 or 2 errors the entire tournament. So pitching, defense, and timely hitting. And the team that we thought that we had, and we went down to Louisiana Tech in the fall and played our fall game there and showed really well there. We won a game at LSU on a Tuesday. At one point, we won 8 in a row, which was a program record for us. And so this team showed flashes. It was just so frustrating because the consistency wasn't there. But there were reasons why we weren't consistent.
Little Rock coach Chris Curry is with us. At what point, or are you now as close to or fully healthy?
On the position player side, I would say we're as close as we've been almost since opening day. I mean, we got the normal, bumps and bruises and strains and stuff that's just wear and tear of the college season. But I would say we're as close to full strength as we've been. And minus our closer who was 95, 97, breaking ball, change up, and could really finish a game. He's out for the year, but everybody else is. And what we had to do, Matt, we had to retool, repiece, different roles, play different guys, different spots to get through those things. And guys had to relearn a lot of things. And by now we've played enough in those spots; they're starting to settle in.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty incredible story to go through, to persevere through that much adversity and to be where you are, winning 5 games in 4 days, to win the conference, to get in as the 8 seed into the conference tournament, and to be here coming to Baton Rouge. This, I would imagine, is also something that maybe is not completely unfamiliar. You all play at Arkansas every year, and you did beat Ole Miss this year as well. Is the environment something that you consider with your guys?
No, absolutely, and I think there's a couple things to consider. Again, having experienced myself the environment. We also, our director of pitching development is Evan Lee, left-handed pitcher from Arkansas, and he pitched in the big leagues, and he's pitched at the box, and so there are some coaches on staff who are able to try to give our guys some tips. Now let's be honest, you cannot simulate or recreate artificially the environment. We know that. But what we can do is give them some tips and pointers about what to expect, what is going to happen, and don't be surprised by this or that. But we make it a point. We played 2 games at Arkansas this year. We've only been playing them for 5 years because they opened up in-state competition in 2019, I believe, and we won there twice on the road. We've been to Ole Miss every year, and I also know that a Tuesday game, non-conference midweek, is a lot different than a Friday conference game, and that's a lot different than a Friday game number 1 regional. So we're not so naive that we think that it'll feel like a midweek game. It will not. But having been on that field and been in those environments, that's going to help a little bit.
I got a couple more for you. By the way, do you have a preference on, I mean, not that it matters, it's going to be the first game, if you played the first game or the second game of the regional?
First game, 100%, for a couple of reasons. And I myself have coached in 2 regionals. I've coached in 2 supers, and I've coached in Omaha when I was on Dave Van Horn's staff. And so I've walked through all of that. I've been through those meetings and heard the reasons why, and then lived it. Number one, if you get weather, you can end up playing at midnight, or even the next day. Well, then you're playing a doubleheader. It gets into your pitching, and then you win, you get extra rest. You don't win, you get extra rest time, and I'm talking hours, and those hours matter. And so I even though the fans don't like it, and maybe the media, because everybody wants that prime time 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock start, that first game has a lot of advantages to it.
Or a radio host that's on air at 3 o'clock, maybe up against a regional game, not super great either.
You mean they didn't call and check with you?
Stunning, I know, right, Coach? Last thing for you, and your time very much appreciated. So is Jackson Wells the guy that goes in game 1 against LSU?
I think that's probably the worst kept secret for around Little Rock baseball. Yeah, we're going to throw our best guy. I think Jackson Wells would kick my office door down if I didn't give him the ball in that game. That's why he came to Little Rock. Was an opportunity to be a Friday guy and pitch in big games and pitch in what is arguably the biggest game in program history. And our players would be equally as mad at me if I didn't hand the ball to Jackson Wells, because they have so much confidence in him and who he is. And I'll give you another little nugget that I have noticed, and I don't even know if players realize it. We had no clue where we were going for a regional. And 10 days ago, 7 weeks ago, we had no clue where we were going for regional. And, being a 90s guy and having watched as a kid Warren Morris hit the home run and playing against Brad Cressy and Terrio and Barbier and, Ainsworth and Hodges and, knowing Coach Burtman and, hold on to the rope. And so I just adopted that, saying to my guys when it started getting tough there at the end of the season, and they didn't really, they're young, right? So they didn't really have any idea, who it was really from. And then lo and behold, we show up in the Baton Rouge Regional where Hold On to the Rope was born. And so I think that's kind of cool. And our folks, our media's kind of grabbed onto it a little bit. And so, we're looking forward to it. We're going to let it fly. We're going to embrace the moment and make sure that when we look back on this opportunity, we didn't shy away from it or back down.
Fabric of baseball is pretty awesome. Chris Curry, coach there at Little Rock. I'd wish you great luck. I hope great luck, except for when you play the Tigers. But in any event,
that's fair.
We sincerely do appreciate the time. I know it's very busy as you're preparing for a regional, so thanks for making time for us today. And safe travels and best of luck to you and your guys.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.